I know when you are self-employed, it can feel really hard. You are so busy. You're often overwhelmed with so many tasks of admin that the last thing you want to do is spend time setting up bookkeeping, setting up tax systems, thinking about whether you need an LLC or not, whether you need to be an S corporation or not, figuring out sales tax and how to set up for that, right? Those things feel hard, even though they are necessary. Welcome to the Sunlight Tax Podcast. In this show, we're talking about taxes, money, and careers for self-employed people who have a big vision for changing the world with their work. I'm your host, Hannah Cole, artist, design nerd, tax pro, author of Taxes for Humans, and the founder of Sunlight Tax. If you're a creative, wellness, or mission-driven entrepreneur who wants to grow your business sustainably, manage your taxes, and build a stash of fuck you money so you can control your time and have a bigger impact with your work, you are in the right place. Hello, beautiful. I hope you're doing well today. I don't know about you, but I want to talk to those of you who are listening to this podcast. I'm curious. I know some of you listen to this podcast and you might hear me talk about creative people or artists, and you might not actually identify that way yourself. I certainly know a lot of people listening for what to me is the real purpose of this podcast, is because you're an ethical person, a caring person, someone who is trying to do good work in this world. And you find that the way that I describe tax information or career issues for a small business kind of speaks to you, right? That's actually, to me, the point. I know that I've had the experience of talking to people who I think are my perfect client, who I could help so effectively, who think that they're not somebody that I serve because they're not creative. And I just want to speak to that explicitly right now. I think that that message has gotten out there because of my background. Yes, I went to art school. I've been an artist for a long time, but I'm a small business owner, and who I serve is other small business owners. Now, a lot of them do happen to be creative, and that is because so many design schools and art schools ask me to teach tax workshops that a lot of my audience does end up being in the creative side of the world. And I love that, and I welcome that. But I do explicitly want to make sure you know that Sunlight Tax, my work, my book, is designed for self-employed people of any variety. Really, what I care about is that you are building an ethical business, doing work independently, because independent work is where it's hard. That's where you need tax help, right? When you work on your own, when you're a freelancer, when you're a consultant, when you have your own business, you have a lot more admin than somebody who has a W-2 and works for someone else, right? And so that is who I serve and why I want to serve you. So I just want to speak explicitly to those of you, those many of you who may think that you only belong here if you are a creative person. And I just want to assure you that I love what you do. I explicitly want to help you when you are doing good work of any kind. I will name a couple people who actually I know listen to this podcast who are not doing creative work at all. I have many people who I have served over time in fields outside creative fields, and I explicitly want to call you in. So if you are, for example, an endocrinologist who works on contract, if you just got your master's in human resources and you are starting a new company to help small businesses set up human resource policies, if you are a therapist engaged in ketamine-assisted therapy, maybe you're a therapist who's beginning to venture into the world of executive coaching. I have a lot of coaches in my orbit and a lot of healthcare professionals. Maybe you're a doula or a midwife. Maybe you are, like my own partner, a software engineer who just quit his day job in order to take on independent projects that light your fire, that drive a mission that help the world. You are sick of helping San Francisco-based startups just make more money, and now you want to help Asheville. Now you want to help small ethical businesses around the country and especially local to Asheville do things that help their business. So it's really funny to me that my own partner actually recently took a huge step and became my ideal client. So I just want to explicitly call that in so that you know that this is a place where not only can I serve you, but I really want to. I know when you are self-employed, it can feel really hard. You are so busy. You're often overwhelmed with so many tasks of admin that the last thing you want to do is spend time setting up bookkeeping, setting up tax systems, thinking about whether you need an LLC or not, whether you need to be an S corporation or not, figuring out sales tax and how to set up for that, right? Those things feel hard, even though they are necessary. You recognize they're necessary, but you're really nervous about sinking a lot of time into them or sitting with an accountant who just seems to speak in jargon and just wants you to pay them a lot of money, but doesn't explain anything to you, and you have no personal understanding of what is going on, right? You want kind of a balance of like, okay, I get it. I know what that's for. I know why I'm making this choice. You want that power. You want to feel empowered in that way. But you also just want to get it done, right? You're not there to like, okay, I don't need a degree in this. I just want to be following the law. That's it. I want to not get audited. I want to not have someone sue me and have no protection, right? That's what you want. So you probably recognize that you have these needs when you're self-employed, freelance, starting a new business, maybe even shoring up an existing business. You need to track your income. You need to track your tax deductions. You want to get every penny that you can, and you should. You want to make sure you choose the right entity, LLC, S Corp, partnership, C Corporation, sole proprietorship. These are all good options. They don't all do the same thing. Set up for sales tax, know that if you need a business license that you get it, right? There are a lot of those technical items and you want help, but you really just want to get it done quickly, right? I also really want to say that one of the most critical times in business setup and getting up to speed quickly, like not trying to just DIY everything and slowly figure it out, is when you are, like my partner, leaving full-time work as a W-2 employee and venturing out onto your own, right? Maybe you're now, you quit a day job and now you're becoming a consultant. If you are doing that, you can hit a tax whammy really quickly, right? That is when estimated quarterly taxes are going to apply to you right away rather than ramp up gradually as a small business starting from zero is going to have. And so you in particular need a nice quick setup and you need to understand what is coming before that quarterly tax bill hits you in the face. And I say this with a lot of experience being the tax practitioner who tells people, oh, hey, you didn't pay any quarterly taxes last year, even though you were obligated to under the law. And now you owe a tax bill that is really big, a lot bigger than you expected. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but if you'd been paying quarterly taxes, you would have saved yourself all of this pain, right? Rather than be the person who says that, I would rather teach you how to get on top of your quarterly taxes and avoid that horrible problem you might get at tax time if you don't. So I understand that you're busy. I understand that you may feel overwhelmed with this technical side and be impatient to get to that good work that you do, serving the people that you serve, making that product that you make, fulfilling that mission that you have, right? That's the purpose of going out on your own or building a business that you love, right? It is to serve those people that you want to serve, to fulfill that mission. It's not to get all down and dirty with tax law, right? You want someone like me to make it easy for you. And with that in mind, I want to tell you how I am shifting my offering to serve you better in a world where you may be feeling a lot of overwhelm, a lot of information glut, and a sense of, I just want to do this as quickly as I can. I want to have results. I want to have it done, right? You don't want a lot of information that you have to weed through and sort through on your own. You want to actually get the thing done. And you also want to know that you can trust it, because AI hallucinates tax law and is actually not very good at math equations, especially tax ones where it might draw from old and out-of-date tax law or even make up tax rules altogether. So you also need to know that you can trust it. And that is where, as a licensed tax professional, my obligation to stay up to date with tax law and give you the latest is really, really important. So here's what I am picturing. I say this to you to preview it, yes, to get you excited, but also for your feedback. If this feels like a program that you'd be interested in, please get in touch. Ask me questions. Tell me specifically what you're looking for, what you hope to see, because I am building this right now as I talk to you today, and I want it to feel responsive to what you need. I have been interviewing clients all summer to get this information, to build the best new offering that I possibly can to serve you where you're at right now. But I'd love to hear from you if I haven't already. Ask me your questions. Tell me your concerns. What is it that you know that I could deliver that you really want to see? Okay. On Instagram, you can DM me at Sunlight Tax. Just send me a DM, ask me your question. I love to just voice memo back and forth with people in the morning on my morning walk. You can also email me, hello@sunlighttax.com. If you're not on Instagram, you're welcome to email me your questions, your concerns, your thoughts, your enthusiasm. Maybe you don't feel enthusiastic. But here's what I'm envisioning. I am picturing a cohort, a small group, a limited group, 10 to 20 people, nice and small, nice and intimate, small enough that you can get to know everybody in it and actually start to feel a network with them, start to feel support, start to realize that other people are going through the same issues that you are, and realize that you have a group that has its own wisdom and resources to draw from. I have found this personally very valuable in programs I have been in the past. I have business friends I met that way who I still call for advice. It's absolutely wonderful. This has not been a part of my program to date, and it's something I personally have been longing for. And I think the need for community is so strong right now. I'm feeling it, and I want to have more connection with the people who I'm serving. So it's going to be a small group program. It's going to be intense, and it's going to happen in 2 days. Okay. So it's not just an endless program. It's not a year. It's not a long timeline. It's 2 days and you get it done. The focus is less on an information dump and more on implementation. It's a done with you intensive, right? So it's a mix of me teaching and some group learning, and then also implementation time where you do the thing that we just talked about. And you do it with me there to support you as you go. All right. Another component that I think is super important, especially because I am a tax expert and taxes, your specific tax information, your specific tax questions, your income numbers, these are things that should rightfully remain private. This is not information I ever want you to bring up in a group session. And so deliberately, part of what I'm planning is that you get 2 one-on-one consults with me, one before the intensive begins, one after the intensive ends. And this way, you can come in having already gotten one-on-one guidance from me, maybe doing a little pre-work if that is necessary for you. And then also knowing that you'll have another consult at the end after you know all the things, after you've done all the things. So that if you have any trip ups, if you have any things come up as you go, if you have any weird outlier questions that didn't get answered in the intensive, you know you have the time, the space, the privacy to get my eyes on your question. Okay? So I think that is a really valuable part of this intensive, that it's a small group cohort with intimacy, with community, but also a component of one-on-one guidance from me. Also, and I'm really excited about this part, I think information overload is real. I know that a lot of you sit and ask your tax questions of AI, and I think you know that's probably not great, but I'm here to tell you specifically why that is not great. AI hallucinates tax law. It has made up tax rules. It still makes up tax rules. All of the programs have instances where they have made up information that is simply not true. This is breaking the law when it comes to taxes. You need to be so careful because your signature on your tax return says that you have done the due diligence to know that everything in it is correct. This is why AI is really dangerous when it comes to taxes. I know you're using it. That's okay. That's not my complaint. What I want is for you to have a place to get tax information you can trust. I am a licensed tax professional. I stay up to date on tax law. That is a requirement of my license. Another requirement of my license is due diligence, right? AI has no due diligence requirement. And so it'll just tell you crazy things that make no sense, that are not real, and it will confidently tell you that it's true. So one of the things that my new program includes is a database, a searchable database of my content where you can put in your question, and it will not summarize, it will not make it in its own words. It will bring you directly to the spot in the transcript and in the video where I am teaching that very thing that you're asking about, and it will give you my answer in my words. This, I think, is really valuable because this way you have a way on your own time at 3 a.m. when you wake up with a panic attack to ask your tax question and get a real tax answer that you can trust. Okay. And that part is yours forever. I love that. I'm really excited about that piece of this new program. So the idea is that in 2 days, you get your tax system set up. So your receipt tracking, your tax documents, set up a tax layer on top of your bookkeeping so that you track all the special categories to make tax time extra, extra easy. You understand how to pay your quarterly taxes. We do a session on paying your estimated quarterly taxes so that you know and practice making a calculation and making that payment and knowing how to do that every single quarter when you're going to have to do that. And also knowing the legal and business setup that you need for your business. So what are the business license requirements, LLC requirements, S Corp? Do you need to have that? Should you have that? Is it okay to be a sole proprietor, to have a Schedule C? I answer all of those sort of business setup questions so you choose the right entity and you know how to move forward with all the licenses and legal and tax boxes checked that you need to. So the idea is this is 2 days mix of teaching and co-working, teaching and implementation, sandwiched by one-on-one time where you get individual attention from me and a database of tax reliable, searchable answers for your tax questions in the middle of the night. I think this is a really awesome program. I'm super excited about it, and I would love to hear your questions, your feedback, your thoughts about things you wish to included, questions about what it might include, suggestions possibly. So I'd love to hear from you at this stage as I'm building it out, because this is to serve you, right? And I want you to know that, yes, absolutely, if you're running a creative business, you are absolutely welcome as always. But explicitly, if you are a person who is running a small business, working as a consultant, working on your own, who is not creative, you are welcome here. This is absolutely for you. Okay. I also want to mention, I have had in my programs in the past a component of tax law updates, a calendar of tax deadlines, ongoing support, monthly co-working, monthly check-ins. That ongoing component is really cool and really awesome. It's, I think, a good idea, but not everybody wants it. And so I have disconnected that from this intensive so that the intensive, you are one and done, one shot, 2 days, you are done. If you want to, at any time, join in a year-long year of guidance and get that sort of year-round prompting from me, you can do that also in addition. You can opt into that, but it's not required. It's there as a service to you if that feels valuable to you. So just to let you know that that is also there, that exists, but this program is just, you will be done in 2 days. Okay. Again, I would love to hear what you think of this. I would love to hear your questions about this. if you feel like it would fit you, if it would not, if it's right for you, if you just want to talk about like how you wish it would be, there's things you'd love to see. I'm really open to hearing that right now. I'd love to hear from you. So DM me at Sunlight Tax on Instagram or email me hello@sunlighttax.com. Love to hear from you. I am hoping to have this ready to show you in the fall, and I cannot wait until it's all built and get you really excited for this new program that's going to get you all set up in just 2 days. Also, if this just sounds good, if you don't have questions, if you're just ready and this sounds great and you're interested, just go ahead and sign up on the waitlist. I have a really easy waitlist form on my website. Just go to sunlighttax.com/waitlist, or I will put a pop-up on the website just so that you can remember, if you go to sunlighttax.com, you can see it there and you can just say, yes, I'm interested. That way I'll know to notify you when this program is ready. I also want to say, depending on the demand, one of the things that really excites me is knowing what kind of business and what stage of business you're in, because since I'm running this in cohorts, what I would love to do is group it together with people who are dealing in a similar stage and dealing with similar types of business. Maybe you are in the health and therapeutic professions. Maybe you are a content creator. Depending on how big the demand is, I am hoping to group people into cohorts with their peers. And this, I think, can be extra valuable for you. So it's optional as you sign up for the waitlist to tell me what field you're in, what profession, but it's really helpful to know that I've got, a critical mass of like people in the healthcare doula therapy world so that we can create a health-specific cohort. Or if you are likewise in the moving from full-time work into full-time consulting, full-time self-employment, that's a really critical moment. And I would love to group a group of people like that together. So if you want to give me that information to help me match you with people who I think you would do even better with, all the better. But that's up to you. Okay. Thanks for listening. Please tell me what you think. Remember to DM me at Sunlight Tax on Instagram. Send me an email, hello@sunlighttax.com, or just join the waitlist at sunlighttax.com/waitlist. And I can't wait to tell you more. And I can't wait to launch this new venture to serve you well in this world and help you get that amazing ethical work that you do amplified in this world. Because that's the point, after all. All right. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Thank you for listening. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. It really helps. I'm so grateful. My tax guide, Taxes for Humans, is available wherever you buy books and at sunlighttax.com/book. This podcast is for education and entertainment only. Nothing in this episode should be taken as individual tax or financial advice. You can find all the tools, books, and links I reference at sunlighttax.com/podcast.